feeling like I'm academics. Can't ride away.
Going a little bit. Keep me up. Yo, so chat. This is so interesting what's going on with like TikTok and Universal. Like this is like a really interesting and I know most of y'all love the music industry, but you may not be an artist and you may not be on the label side. So let me show you what's going on. So TikTok basically had said, yo, our lease or our agreement with Universal Music Group, and by the way, remember Universal Music Group is the umbrella label, the biggest label with artists all on Republic. So your Nicki Minaj, your Taylor Swift, your Drake, your Weekends, your I believe Olivia Rodrigo, whoever the fuck that is. Most of the artists that you like, they're on Universal Music Group. Now, because TikTok and Universal Music Group hasn't came to an agreement, it was set to expire on February 1st, and Universal Music Group said, yo, listen, we're down for our music not to be on your platform. Like, you know, by the way, this is, you have to realize, if you guys ever watch like sports a lot and you wonder why sometimes, you know, they go into these holdouts or whatever, because negotiating means nothing if you'll fall for everything, right? Like you have to show somebody, yo, I won't tolerate this, or I won't, you know, this is unacceptable. And that's pretty much what this is, right? So TikTok was okay with the deal. Universal Music Group says, nah, we're not getting paid enough. TikTok comes back around and say, well, we have a few ways to pay y'all, but if we are going to pay people, we rather just pay the the individual artist rather than the label. And of course, the labels are upset. They're like, yo, whoa. Number one, it's getting a little bit closer to people realizing they don't need labels, right, for anything at all. But even before we get to that, everybody's looking at this whole situation. Wait, what are you talking about? Everybody's looking at this situation and be like, yo, dog, the labels are only using the artists as a pawn because they want to make a point to say, yo, y'all are preventing artists from getting money. The labels only care for themselves. TikTok is more right in this situation, even though they're not right, because they're trying to pay little to nothing and the artists don't really get as much. But at least on their priority list, they want to save their pockets. The second thing they want to save is the pockets of the artists. And that's the problem, you know, because when it comes to TikTok, they don't want to spend or pay out a lot of money because they're thinking that, hey, listen, we're giving a lot of free promo already. Now, if you look at let me see if I can find it. Universal Music Group Meta revenue. So basically, Universal Music Group, so UMG, they came to an agreement with Meta to basically like agree or like kind of license the music that they have through Instagram sounds and other things that will be on the platform, right? They actually did that over a year ago, and you will see what they even said about like Meta, right? They're basically saying that, and this is like their, you know, their stock market, like, you know, like update people what's going on. They said evolving and expanding relationships with long-term partners, including Amazon, Twitch, and Meta in revenue sharing, and Apple with spatial audio. Does it actually show here? Oh, it doesn't show it here. But basically, they show that for Meta contributed previously like about like 20% of their income for the year, which they thought was dope. But here's what happened. Not only is it different people when it comes to like hip hop, I think people just don't understand hip hop at all. So when people look at exactly what I just said in TikTok, and how TikTok is like, you know, they're treating music, people's not realizing that when it comes to hip hop and how you know, it affects like the promotion. Like for example, like most music ain't really as popular without TikTok these days. TikTok knows that, right? So the record labels have reported about 20% for Meta. So for Instagram, this and third, they're saying for TikTok is only paying them 1%. So that's the beef. You know what I mean? I'm trying to simplify it for y'all. TikTok. News. They have a they actually have a Twitter. Let me see if I can pull it up. They actually wrote a whole letter. Let me see. Hold on. Oh, actually, no. Universal wrote a letter. Universal. So if you go to them, and I'm trying to like explain it without getting into too much, like, you know. Where's the letter they wrote? Okay, here we go. So this is the open letter from Universal. They're trying to convince their fans, which is the people who listen to the music, and they're trying to convince the artists and the songwriters and the producers that they're doing the right thing. Because everybody's mad at them to say, bro, why the fuck are you taking our music off TikTok? We need TikTok to promote our shit. So now if you're signed to like any like label on a Universal Music Group, your music cannot be served to TikTok, right? So they're writing an open letter to the artist and songwriter saying why they have to call a timeout on TikTok. By the way, all this is bullshit. If you guys ever have cable, your cable provider does the same bullshit too. Rather than pay the fees, or they'll disagree with the fees, they'll force the people, or they'll ask the people to go protest on their behalf. So this is why you get these open letters where people are trying to like explain what's going on. Anyway, you hear UMG basically say, and let me see if I can go to this 1%. Okay. It says with respect to the issue of, let me make this a little bit smaller. And it's all about money, right? With respect to the issue of artist and songwriter compensation, right? So this is what TikTok is saying. I'm trying to make it very simple. TikTok, they put out a statement and said, bro, we actually pay fair. According to all the big platforms that have now incorporated music in their platforms, for example, Meta, for example, Twitter, and so forth, for example, whatever, we pay competitive rates. So not only do we think we're the biggest promotion that music has right now, we actually pay competitive rates, right? Then you get UMG basically saying, no, they don't. And for them, they're saying with respect to the songwriter. Oh, by the way, with them saying that, they said that they pay the majority of their money to the artists themselves. So they're trying to gain the goodwill of people. They say, oh, we do pay people. We just pay the artists. So we're giving the money to the artists, not to the labels. So they're trying to convince the artists, hey, listen, your labels are fucked up because they don't want you to eat. We want to pay you directly. They want to blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this is the Universal, the big company response to all this. It says TikTok proposed paying our artists and songwriters at a rate that is fractional to the rate that is similarly situated on major social platforms, social platform pay. Today, as an indication of how rapid rise in advertising revenue and increasing reliance on music-based content, TikTok only accounts for about 1% of our total revenue. They basically try to flip it on its head, saying they need us more than we need them. They literally don't have anything going on, and to be honest, they're not making us a lot of money. So we should put them on timeout until they get their shit together. That's the whole point. Okay? So, yeah. It says ultimately TikTok is trying to build a music-based business without paying their fair value for music. On AI, TikTok is allowing the music of the platform to be flooded with AI-generated recordings, as well as developing tools to enable, promote, and encourage AI music creation on the platform itself. Now, this is why this is going to be a big deal for TikTok. What happens with how these music companies do, they usually say, hey, listen, you need us more than you hate us. So let's just come to a deal, right? And the deal might just be like, hey, cool, we're going to pay you more, or this is where the split is. These days is the first time we're seeing a company or independent label or an artist actually try to go to war with like someone like TikTok and try to win. This is incredibly hard because, again, TikTok is looking at things like, oh, we don't have to pay that money anymore. Remember I told you the story about TikTok inviting me over? So TikTok invited me over. I can't remember what year it was. They asked me to pick a username. The username was already in use. I took it. Obviously, it was Akademiks. They kicked the person off right there in the office in Santa Monica. And they told me, they said, hey, listen, we're going to flick a lever on what you got going on. Your shit's going to be super lit. Just keep posting. And I only say that particular story in terms of where they came from is because I don't think TikTok thinks they still need the same people. I think TikTok overall believes that, hey, listen, music needs them more than they need music. And also, even without UMG's catalog, people will just find other underground music or something else to turn up to. And basically, if that's how they think, why the hell would they pay Universal? So that's kind of where everything is at. Obviously, Universal is going to, they got away with the, hey, listen, don't mention this company, even though they broke it a couple times. Don't use our music, blah, blah, blah. I think at certain points, they're going to try to go for, on a copyright level, yo, we got to sue you for lost damages or lost potential earnings. I don't think you will get that to that point at all, but that's exactly what's going on. So if you ask me, Universal is only caring about themselves, and also the artists, they don't have a say, and then you have the streaming companies basically now getting so big-headed because look how many people, let's Google it real quick. TikTok overall users, right? Apparently it's over 1 billion. That's supposedly the number in active users. Supposedly it's already at over 1 billion, right? Let's go to So TikTok's already over 1 billion. Let's go to Instagram. Instagram overall users. Now, they claim Instagram has 2.5 billion active monthly users. Here's the problem with that, though. The 1 billion people that are on TikTok are just way more engaging, way more supportive. They actually are breaking the mold and actually having an impact on music. While Instagram has so much shit going on, right? Meta in general, you don't know if some of that stuff is from, just the website, if it's from WhatsApp, if it's from obviously Instagram. And because of that, TikTok is the most valuable tool for promotion. So I think they're letting their nuts hang a little bit. Like, yo, bro, y'all not gonna tell us what to do when y'all need us more than we need y'all. That's going to be a fight that we're going to see what's going to happen. It's definitely going to end in a settlement some way, somehow. But at least for right now, usually when you see a lawsuit like this gets to the public, that lawsuit's usually messy at first, and people are trying to say, how do we get this to a situation where no more bullshit happens? So, again, even without the more monthly active users, you have a situation with TikTok where they clearly get paid more. Okay? Someone said, yo, TikTok is so, and what I realized about TikTok has utilized the best and the very elite way of working the algorithm. Like from everybody who uses TikTok, they just say they scroll. They never say, oh, we're on TikTok looking for something. They say they scroll. And when they say they scroll is because they trust the algorithm, that algorithm will provide them with something that is insightful, that is interesting, that is mind capsulating, that will take them out of the idea of saying, I've had enough. It's an addiction almost, damn near. And according to like what everybody says, it's just TikTok native algorithm that's just so obsessive, which shit, you got to give credit to that. You get what I mean? All right. Somebody said TikTok saved Ice Spice. 100%. You know what I mean? TikTok is kind of like one of the reasons why like somebody like Ice Spice works really well, right? And no knock to her, it's just it is what it is, right? Somebody said they're saying
Hardcore, hardcore, shorty scan me like a barcode. Barcode, heartbreaking, I go viral. They don't know me, so the same niggas smoking out the OZ. Ice cold type lick, and I might smoke. Hydro, contemplating what I might do. White shoes, yeah, shorty, I just like you.